Hello everyone, in studio with the spotlight with my beautiful Sarah Lucero.
Thank you, Lorena. So excited to be with you all here today because you are going to love hearing from our guest. She is an iconic music performer and producer from San Antonio. You may know who we're talking about. Patsy Torres has a lot going on and she's going to share that with us today. Patsy, welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lorena. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to share everything I've been doing and I am doing and going to be doing. But first, I want to share something with you. My last name, married name, is Lucero.
I didn't know that. That's that is like the biggest surprise because I don't know where I had heard that, but I was like, no, that's got to be wrong. But hermana.
I know, my sister.
Yeah.
It's funny because of course, all my legal papers say Patricia Lucero. So if I go somewhere, I'm at a store, and I'm using my credit card, and they look at it. They're like, Lucero? Have you ever done the news? I was like, no. Are you related to someone that did the news? I was like, no. And then, okay. It's like a dual identity, but I love it.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
That is so wonderful. You know, Patsy Torres has been around for a legacy right here in the heart of San Antonio and worldwide. Patsy Torres has written so many beautiful songs. She has made a difference in many people's lives. Patsy, I know that you have just lately written a song. Can you, an entire album actually.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your beautiful music that you wrote?
Well, thank you. Well, of course, during the pandemic, everything closed down and there was no more touring, there was no more rehearsing, everybody was staying away from each other, everybody was scared. And so I started watching a lot of the social media and the news that I usually didn't have the time to do. And that's when I saw what was going on so horribly in our country and realizing all of this discourse that was going on about this side and that side, and it was fake news. And so I sat down and I wrote a song called Fake News, Noticias Falsas. And after I wrote that one, I said, wait a minute. I said, I've got another one in my head. And I wrote another one and I wrote another one. And I realized I can write a whole album, and I did. I finished a whole album and produced it and got it out there, and the song started doing great on the airwaves. Then after that, we went ahead and did a music video on it, on Noticias Falsas, with my band. We actually quarantined 2 weeks before. We're very careful, wearing masks the whole time. The video came out great, and we released it this past January. It's doing great. And so it's kind of kicking off the rest of what we're going to be doing with the music as I release song after song from the album.
All right, Patsy, I know that Sarah wants to know this question, but how many songs have you written already?
Oh my gosh. I've never been asked that question.
Probably hundreds and hundreds of songs.
Maybe not that many, because I only became a songwriter actually in the 90s, and this was because I didn't have the confidence that I was a songwriter. I wrote little songs when I was a kid about my cat and my horse and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I was recording an album in Mexico, and they said, we have room for one more album and one more song. And I had this song in my head, and it was about my husband, because we were newlyweds, and he was real insecure, because you know how musicians can be and fans can be, you know, very huggy, kissy and all this, and I think he was a little insecure. So I wrote a song called Te Juro, which just said, I promise, I swear, I love you, nobody else. And it became the hit of the album. Because the company goes, okay, yeah, you can put it on there as a filler, and it was the hit. And it was BMI's Latin song most played, and I still get royalties from it today. So that's when I said, wow, I'm a songwriter. And after that, I had the confidence to keep writing songs. So when something came into my head and inspired me, I wrote it. I wrote a song called Mi Inspiración, which is my inspiration about God. God is my faith and my inspiration. So songs like that, and it just went on. So I guess 100 songs.
And how long have you been married now?
Yes, over 30 years.
Wow. Over 30 years.
Yes.
Over 30 years.
Gracias a Dios, yes. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Now tell us about the album a little bit. You've got different genres of music in there.
Well, it's all within the Tejano genre, but it has all the different beats. It has cumbia, Tejano, bachate, you know, and it's got some slow ones, bolada, you know, baladas also, ballads. So it's got a little bit of something, but every one of them has a message, and it You know, there's some slow ones. There's a sad one about losing someone you love. There's a song on there I wrote for my father called Papacito Mio, and that's a mariachi style. And it's about my relationship with my father, and I lost him a couple years ago, and people wanted to hear it during Father's Day because not everyone is lucky enough to have a really, really good relationship with their father, and mine went bad for a while. So I had to be real in this song, and I share that we had this separation for many, many years, but the fact that God brought us back together and we had the most beautiful relationship and never even had an argument the rest of his life. So that was a blessing.
I think that's what people really love about you, Patsy, is that you're very authentic in your writing and what you put together, what you create. It comes from the heart, it's about your life, and people can really resonate with that and really just connect with you.
Thank you.
Well, there's many things that everyone loves about Patsy Torres. You know, I mean, I personally love her attitude. I love how she comes across always. I have never seen Patsy in a bad mood. I don't know how Patsy would look ever in a bad mood, because every time I see her, she's always so full of joy, full of love, full of giving. And one thing that I've known about Patsy is she always puts a smile at everyone. No matter how difficult and how tough times are, she's the kind of woman that will always come up and uplift you. You know, the kind of woman that we all need around our world and our life. I have been the biggest fan of yours for a legacy, Patsy, and I have so much respect for you because of what you've done and what is it that you are doing. I know that right now you don't stop. Patsy's the kind of girl, it's like the spotlight with Sarah or like Lorena Moreau. We don't stop. We always think how to become better. And what I love about you is that you're always creating yourself and you're always putting yourself out there and reaching out to help someone. And what I most love about Patsy is right now she is got a huge hit at a radio station right here in San Antonio, but the radio station goes around everywhere. It's one of the most solid, stable radio stations. And I want you to tell everyone a little bit about the radio station and what is it that you do with that radio station.
Well, it's KEDA Radio, 99.9 FM, 1540 AM, and KEDARadio.com. And it's a show we're doing with Jaime Vidal, which is the owner of Street Talk magazine, and he's starting his own company, Street Talk Entertainment also. So we do this show every Sunday between noon and 1. It's just a little 1-hour show, but we play music, a little conjunto, a little Tejano. Sometimes we'll throw a rap song in there. It depends on what we're talking about. And then we have these little characters because KEDA is the jalapeno station. So we have a character called Jalapeno Anastic. And he has a lot of friends. He's got Toña Tomate, Tony Tamale, Celia Cebolla, Alma Ajo, all of these little characters. So during every show, there's something going on with him and his characters and his girlfriends and his friends. And it's just a little fun thing we do, and people love to listen and see what they're up to now. And then we also show information, current events. We always like teach something to people. And it's just fun, and we've been doing it since December. Yeah.
Well, I know that it's been a hit. It's been a hit because I've already gotten many people have come up to the studio, Bonita Productions, and they have said, have you heard of what Patsy Torres is doing with Mr. Jaime Vidal? Have you heard of what Lorena? You got to, be a part of them, and you got to get involved with them because obviously everybody knows that those Latinas in the spotlight with Sarah Lucero, we are about the community. We are about going out there and helping people and reaching out and seeing how we can collaborate just to help us become better and help other people become better. And that's what this is about. And so I am honored to announce and say that Patsy Torres is going to be launching her own little TV show right here at Bonita Productions with Mr. Jaime Vidal, and you guys are going to come here and you guys are going to start recording towards the end of April, and it's going to be all about the street talk. So street talk is going to be all based a little bit of everything, just about what you guys cover in the radio station, correct? And a lot more. Am I right?
And a lot more, yeah. Whatever's going on in the community, what's going on also nationwide, whatever concerns people, whatever helps them, informs them, And at the same time, we want to have that little laugh. I get to bring out my comedian part in these in these shows because I love jokes and I love to tell jokes. I love to laugh and I love to make people laugh. So we put that part in there, and that's something that everyone's been saying from our show, that, oh, you make me laugh.
So is it going to be a talk show? You'll be just on set, or are you going to take people out as well, shoot outside, or y'all going to play it by ear?
We're going to do a little shoot outside. We're going to do stuff with music too. You know, play some videos. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of variety. It's just going to be entertainment. In fact, something I started calling myself a while back, because I always like to teach when I perform. So I call myself an edutainer. So this is edutainment.
And you also like to do a lot with children. You've done a lot of projects with kids over the years.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what started everything, because I started the Positive Force tour. I started doing that, and that was a tour that we toured high schools. And this was during when the gangs were the worst in the high schools. In fact, it was before people realized it, because they were like, oh, you're playing at some peers of mine, oh, you're playing at the high school, the little bubblegum kids. And I was like, oh yeah, the kids are awesome. Well, these kids were wearing bandanas and colors and throwing gang signs, carrying knives and guns. You know, this was before it hit the media what was going on in San Antonio with the gangs. And we were in there and we were bringing them together, because it was, I would describe our concert as a musical drama, because we played music, but I would talk in between the music, talk to the kids.
Yeah.
We would do skits. We would do choreography and all these different things, whatever it took to reach them. Because in school I studied about different learning styles. So I said, okay, I'm going to use all these different styles, because some kids learn from what they hear, some from what they see, some as an example. And that's how we put the show together. That show went on for 10 years.
Well, it sounds like you're really connected.
More than
with
10
them.
years, actually.
Sounds like you're really connected with the young people.
I did, because of my experience with my father. You know, being, you know, the fact that I was separated for so long and left home and I was a runaway, I could relate to, we had a drug dealer that lived behind the house. We had a gang that was taking over our school. So I had all this experience. So when I would sit down and talk with kids, they were like, you understand me, you get it. So when I put it on stage, you know, I would look down and I would see kids crying, and then after the concert they'd come and talk to me and tell me how much they were moved and they understood and they wanted to change.
Absolutely. Now that's what I most love about Patsy Torres, is because, you know, she is street smart, and you know, you just touched something very special in my heart, because I personally, you know, did a show, Bailando por Pasión, Dancing for Passion. You remember that?
Yes.
2006.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of what you did, Patsy. You know, there is so many young youth out there that are in so much need of help. And so I reached out to a lot of the nonprofit organizations, and we reached out to a lot of the kids that were out there in the streets that had no homes. And you know what we did with Bailando por Pasión? We put them to dance. So I only did it for one whole year. You know, we signed up one whole contract with Azteca America right here locally in San Antonio, and we kicked off Dancing for Passion, and we made a difference in many people's lives, from the parents, from the shelters, from the kids that had no family. I mean, it was just amazing, and I can relate to that, because there's nothing more beautiful in life than to put a beautiful smile in someone's face.
And I didn't realize that, your background. I mean, you had a rough childhood growing up. And that's real, I mean, and then you've come so far and become such an incredible role model and example for the young people in San Antonio, especially. I mean, worldwide, really, but you're right here in our backyard.
Well, a strong message I give to kids when they find out what some of the stuff I went through is, God always provides, because especially when kids would say, oh, my parents don't do this. I said, but, well, then who are you living with? Oh, my aunt or my grandfather or my grandmother. I said, God always provides. You know, nobody's perfect, but he'll always put someone in there. Or maybe it's a neighbor, or maybe it's a brother or uncle, you know, and they step in and they help. In my case, it was my grandfather, Dr. Torres. He was my inspiration to pursue education. And saying, hey, you're special and you're worth it, you know, even though his own son, you know, we were fighting so bad. And it was also him and my grandmother that put put Christ in my life so early at the age of 6, to where I was always like praying, and I always believed God was helping me. I'd ask Jesus for everything. I mean, Jesus, give me a home run. Thank you, Jesus. You know, sometimes I think I used up all my favors, you know, because I was like,
Patsy, are you an only child?
no, I'm the oldest of 5. And that's what was so hard, because when I left, I wasn't allowed to see them. So there was this big gap of years that I was estranged from all my brothers and sisters and my mother and everybody, really. So when I finally had come, it was like rebuilding a whole new relationship with them and my father, which turned out to be great.
Well, I just want you guys to know that I love Patsy Torres so much that I have got to tell everyone that Patsy Torres is going to be on board with Bonita TV. And what Bonita TV is going to be all about, it's going to be a little bit of everything that has to do with fashion, with beauty, with things that are happening locally and everywhere we travel, because we're going to start taking some trips, but most of all also about featuring and putting music on the spotlight, because I believe that's what she does best. Her passion, Patsy's passion, is writing music and putting people on the spotlight. So tell me, how is it that you have engaged with 2021? How is it that you've engaged with the year? What are your changes that you're going through?
Well, I guess right now, just like everybody else, we're looking to see if these vaccines are actually going to protect us. A lot of people are scared about taking the vaccine. I took mine, and I'm okay, because a lot of people are scared about that. But we also want people to know that even if you have the vaccine, it doesn't mean you can't get sick. It just says you won't be hospitalized or die from it, but you can still get sick, which means if you can get it, you can give it to someone else. And if that someone hasn't had the vaccine, they could die from it. So that's why we tell people to still wear masks, do your social distancing before, you know, we just go crazy out there. I started wearing my mask right away, and the reason I know the masks really work is because I usually would get sick at least once a year, and I have real bad allergies. I haven't had any allergies or gotten sick at all since 2019. And I guess just because of wearing masks and, you know, and the social distancing, but I haven't been sick at all. And
That's
usually,
a blessing. That's such a blessing.
So the masks do work, you know, and I'm protecting myself, I'm protecting my family, my friends. A lot of my nieces have little babies. I don't want to get them sick. So it's about respecting them and protecting them.
Well, that's what we call love. When you love someone and you love yourself, you're going to do what's right. I personally am and run around with my mask and will always wear my mask. And you're right. You know what? It does help, especially with allergies, because it's about what we breathe. You know, what we bring into our system. What do you think, Sarah? What do you think about that?
And actually, I've heard that story before from other people with allergies.
Yep.
That they wore the mask and the allergies didn't affect them as much.
Yep.
But as soon as they take it off, like now, especially with the pollen coming off the oak trees, you know, they can feel it if they're not wearing their mask.
Oh yeah, or around animals if you're allergic to animals and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. And I know it doesn't feel good to wear a mask, and I know depending on the kind of mask you can get sweaty, but it's a small sacrifice to make for good health and to protect those we love.
And it's worth it, you know. And I've been very successful because I have like 5-8 different masks, different colors with different little bling blings.
Yeah, we want different colors.
Of course. And every time I take it every day, I make a habit that when I take my makeup off, I hand wash my mask.
Yes.
Oh, that's
every day.
That's a great habit.
Every day, you
Me
know,
too.
I have a habit of washing my face, washing the towel that I, you know, remove my makeup with, and I wash my mask. You know, that is like mandatory. I'm very kind of like, you know, always very persistent about all the things that I do, because to me, my health is priority. You know, because if I'm healthy, I'm out here to help you. You know,
and I can vouch for Lorena on that, because every time I show up to Bonita Productions to do a taping, she's in the back and she's sweeping and she's wiping, she's spraying and she's checking temperatures, and she's always very meticulous about keeping everything very clean, very hygienic, and if you come here, you know that you will be well protected.
No, but you're exactly right. You have to clean the mask all the time, because if you use it and then you just put it in your pocket or you leave it in the car, whatever your mask stopped from getting onto you, pollen or germs or anything, you kept it on there and then you're putting it back on.
Yeah.
So you need to keep washing it and keep it clean. I see too many people, they leave it in their car or their pocket or their purse.
No, and I went to the gym the other day and I put my mask on the floor.
No!
I'm like, what? Well, what good does it do you now? You're going to put it back on my face.
Yeah.
I've just picked up all these germs
Exactly.
off the floor.
Sarah,
So, no, I wasn't thinking, and I just put it on the floor. I'm like, oh, that's a bad idea. Well, you learn, right?
Yeah, so now we had a little class about masks. Okay, Sarah can believe that. But it happens, and I've seen, I go to sometimes I go to restaurants and I do see people take their mask up and put it right on top of the table.
Too.
It's
I
like,
think that
oh.
too. I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but anyways, okay, so Patsy Torres, I'm going to allow you to ask one question to beautiful Sarah Lucero.
Sarah, I am so impressed about your bodybuilding. What got you into it?
You know, wow, thank you, first of all. That's really, really sweet. But what really motivated me to do it was after having my fourth child, I was heading into my mid-40s, and the body was just not bouncing back. It was taking on a shape that, let's just say, we just don't know what happened to the shape there. And I was doing all the exercise that I did before. I thought I was eating healthy, and then I ended up just seeing the women that looked really spectacular at the gym were the women who were lifting weights with the guys. And I said, well, they're doing something that I'm not doing, and I want to know what they're doing. And it turns out they were serious bodybuilders. They were bodybuilding and they were competing. And I thought that it would be a fun goal and it would motivate me to do more to make it a competition and join a competition. Because otherwise, to me, lifting weights is kind of boring. So I had to give myself a goal. And so I did. I signed up for a competition, signed on with a coach, but most of all, I learned about nutrition, eating right, and that, in fact, I wasn't eating as healthy as I thought I was. So I changed a lot about what I ate. I learned to count macros and all the stuff that they do. And that's why I did it. I did it to kind of, as a mom of four, to kind of get my body back. And it does work. It helps, and you learn a lot about eating really healthy, very clean. And even after that, because I'm not competing and I'm not bodybuilding currently, but you take everything that you learn and you apply it to your life and how you live from that point on. So it's been a great thing to do. Really
Oh,
fun.
well, you are so gorgeous, and I
you're so
admire
sweet.
you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful. And I understand the competition part.
Yeah.
You said, okay, I'm not going to give up because I'm going to compete.
Yes, I'm going to get on that stage, and I'm going. And you better look a certain way. You better have look a certain way. You've been working that hard.
There was no turning back.
No, that's
And Sarah Lucero did look the part. Let me tell you. What's funny is that you see Sarah, for many years, right behind newscaster, just looking real businessy with her business suit. And every time I see Sarah at parties, she always looked fabulous with her beautiful little dresses and business suits. And then all of a sudden, I see Sarah Lucero walk a stage halfway naked with a thong on, and all
it's
tuned
about the
up.
muscles, Lorena. It's
Yeah,
about
The muscles.
I said, oh no, if that girl's doing it after 4 kids, I gotta stay in shape myself.
So you look fabulous.
Thank you, but
You
she
look
keeps me in shape.
fabulous.
Sarah Lucero's
Well,
fitness is a great health.
We're not bodybuilders.
She's a great leader. She's a great, beautiful person, a friend, and a mentor. Because after having 4 kids, I only had 2, but after having 4 kids and just seeing the consistent and the persistent, and when they ask me, what is it that you most like about Sarah Lucero, I have one answer. I say, she is a professional. She's on it, and she's consistent. And you know what? She is about the people.
Oh,
she
I
is
love
the
that.
real
Yes.
deal.
I love that, Lorena.
When people ask me, Sarah, when people ask
Totally
me, what is it that
agree,
you most,
totally
because
agree.
they see me kind of, hanging out with Sarita, with those Latinas, and they're like, okay, Lorena, what is it that you like about Sarah? And I'm telling you about very high-profile people, of the people that I am friends with.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I say,
well,
she's
now, hold on. I'm going to turn it around here, and I'm going to add, Patsy, you have a question for Lorena?
Well, Lorena, I met her a while back through Yolanda Ayala.
Yes.
And I was always impressed with her style. And then Lorena she started all of this production and Bonita Productions and all of these shows, and she's a go-getter. And then she she gets behind the scenes too, and she starts learning the technical part of it, which is so beautiful, because you're not just saying, oh, okay, take a picture. You're like, how do they take that picture? How do they edit that? What about the lighting? And she gets into everything. She's a businesswoman, and it doesn't stop there. She goes, well, if I could do this, I could do this, and I could do this. And when we sat down and we started talking about what we could do together with Bonita TV and the productions about beauty, but not just on the outside, but on the inside.
That's right.
And not only being beautiful as a person, beautiful as also your health. So it's beauty all the way around. And so I was very excited about her whole idea and everything she's doing, and I'm so proud of her.
Well, one thing that I told Patsy Torres is my goal is to be able to, everything that I have, I worked very hard for. And you know, I love not to say who I am or what I am. I love to show who I am and what I am. And the most important thing that I told Patsy Torres, I said, Patsy, this is for you. This studio is for you. You are such a talented, beautiful woman. I told Sarah, this studio is for you. Anybody that needs a studio, this studio is for you, because that's what I am about. I am about sharing and always trying to bring good energy. And you know, a lot of people ask me questions, you know, do you ever watch the news? What is it that you do in your daily lives? Everybody wants to know what I do. And I want to tell you, very simple. I love to become a better person every year. I love to be unique, eccentric, and I love to lead by example. And how I lead by example, I invite you right here at a chair where we can visit, we can put it on camera, and we can go out there and give an incentive to those who are watching to come here and be a part of our success. Why? Because we know that you have a beautiful story to share. Am I right, Patsy?
You're absolutely right, because we can lift up other women. It makes us proud to be Latinas and proud to be women, and proud that we can help other women to realize their importance and what they can give and what they can succeed in.
And that's what I love about you two beautiful ladies. You know, I love about Sarah because she's always very uplifting with her energy and her working out. And what I love about Sarah is when she comes in here ready. She comes in here to talk about what we can do tomorrow, not about what we did yesterday or a week ago. It's like, Lorena, we're so behind in this and that, and we have to do this, and we have to. She's on it, and I love that. I love you because you're so full of joy, and you have that time, that you make that time to go out there and make a difference on people's lives, and I love that about you. So I want to thank both of you for just being beautiful friends. You guys have been my friends for decades, for so many years, and I just want to thank you so much. And I also want to thank everybody that's watching this show. I want everyone to have a very blessed Easter weekend with all your families, and always tell your family how much you love them. And I want to tell you, I love all of you, and always remember that we are right here at Dos Latinas, Bonita TV, and Bonita Productions, ready to help you take your business, your product, your service to the next level. What do you think, Sarah?
I think that sounds great. And the neat thing about Bonita Studios is that what I really like is that you really try to bring in and help people that have a positive message, are trying to give back to the community. So we specifically really like to work with companies and people who that is their mission. And Patsy, that's been such a big part of your life, and that's why I admire you. I think that's why your fans love you, and that's why you've been around San Antonio and the world for so long as a performer. So we are so excited to have you on board with Bonita Productions, and we can't wait to see the show, which is going to launch date sometime in April.
Yep, late April.
Okay.
We're excited
for you.
about it.
We'll be looking for it.
But again, I am so excited to be here and thankful to be here with two wonderful ladies that I admire, and I'm so proud of everything that you've done, and I'm proud to be associated with you. Thank you so much, because to me, you're role models to me, and to so many women, I am sure. And we will continue to do our best to lead and help any way we can, because that's why we're here. We're here to make a difference. And especially now, it's Holy Week. So I say thank you, God. Thank you for everything, and blessings to everyone. God bless you, and God bless you and your families. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Patsy.
Thank you for watching Those Latinas. Happy Easter and be blessed. Hasta la vista.